Yeah.
Okay. We're recording. We have started the fun. Fun has begun.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out on a warm, pretty August day. You can go ahead and call the meeting to order, if that's all right, and get started with things. If anyone else joins, then we're going to have to go over the form. If we would, Ms. Danielle, if you would, says review of minutes, I don't see minutes here, was there minutes?
It was after.
I think so.
Everybody else get one? That was Mark with me with the dog. I made it kind of start with that.
Review the minutes of your own volition. If there are any corrections, please call that at your girl. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. Please let me know if there are any incorrections. It's not on there at this point. It's my first day back to work today, guys, so my brain's a little fried. Which is not good. This is not good. Tyler is here, Rita is here, Mark. Spencer, you are still considered acting chair, correct?
That's fine with that.
Okay, yes.
Then the only thing I would see is just, where we brought order, it's G instead of Q.
Say that again. GSAP?
No, my
Maybe brought it where?
Spencer Gwen instead of Quinn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to.
Is it right? Anybody? It's right.
Right, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna correct it. Do you want that corrected in the official minutes?
Doesn't matter.
Or just moving forward?
Just, so you, yeah.
Okay.
moving forward.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I will go ahead and correct that in the old minutes and send it, so it's, oh gosh. Reflected. Also, treasurer's report I see in the fourth paragraph that starts with Mark's name. And the last line says motion made by Judge Tilly to accept the treasurer's. My bad.
You all review the minutes from last meeting, whenever you all are inclined, I entertain a motion to accept the minutes. I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you all. All right.
So if everyone can hold up, it should have been uprising May document one, so hopefully it's a little easier to follow, they're all numbers later. So they should be mixed up moving forward, hopefully. So we're seeing on May very quickly, it's also at June right behind it, it's going to come May as well. But in May, the Boyle County Extension Office finished with a cash value of $4,163,873.77. Those funds are still spread across Farmers National Bank and Community Trust Bank. That's another one up to the right. Going down to long-term liabilities where your number 2 is at. For the month of May, the district's only liability still remains to pay the bond payment. So no payments were made in the month of May, it's said. The document right under it, say May document 2 in the upper right. You'll see a number 1 beside the taxes. For the month of May, the district received $59,456.18 in tax revenue. They received $8,553.57 in interest revenue, which is beside your number 2. On the next, skip the next page, the third page where the number 3 is at. I did want to point out that that's $70,000 in account 61402 for building improvements. That represents the panel wall sections that we knew were coming in. We ordered probably 6 months ago. We knew they were coming in, so it hit in May. Right below number 4, you'll see in account 62,300 interest payments. This year we paid it in May, whereas last year we paid it in June, so it's just a timing difference. But the interest payment, the cake was $77,487.50. Okay, we'll skip May document 3, because I'll cover that in June's. And then May document 4 is, just the check detail for the month of May. So all the checks that came out of the, extension district here in that May month, 5 pages of it, 6 pages of it. So that's a brief, quick month of May. Now we'll move on to June, which will also cover the entire year. So starting with this one and up to right, you'll see we'll say June document 1. For the month of June, the district ended with $4,156,125.13 in cash. That's spread across Farmers National Bank and Community Trust. Number 2, I did want to point out, it's a new account that you only see once or twice a year. That's account 12,001, which are accounts receivable. So what these represent is the end of the year, fiscal year for the district is June 30th. So any payments made within, I think it's the first 10 days, or payments made or income received is pulled back into this year, in the fiscal year. And so what that represents is $46,470.72 in tax revenues received in the first 10 days that were counted for June 30th, 2024 fiscal year. Down number 3 is the account 21,001, it's accounts payable. It's just the opposite of receivables. So the receivables are income coming in, the payables are the expenses going out in those first 10 days. Number 4, you'll see is still the CAECO bond liability, nothing changed within that month. Turn over to June document 2. Beside your number 1, the district in June of 2024 received $57,391.94 in tax revenue. We had $650 in rental income for the year, or for the month of June. Interest earned during the month was $7,705.48. Down by your number 4, you'll see, it's in the expenditure account, but is the refund that you received for that summer intern position of $1,500. Number 5 is, professional services. There's a couple items there in the AP that I feel probably should be changed, but for now, they're gonna be left as is. It includes bookkeeping expense and, lawn mowing. Flipping over to page number 2, number 6, you will see a large increase in marketing special programs. This year, 4-H, came in full swing, been mailing out a lot of pamphlets and everything's trying to get people to come back out. So that was a significant increase for the month of June. Page number 3, number 7, you'll see what I was referring to with the May financials. Last year, we made an interest payment in June. So there's just a month difference between when we made the payments, but they were both made. So June document 3, which will be your next page, is your year-to-date statement activity. What you can tell by this page is what we brought in for fiscal year end 24, which is June of 2024, versus fiscal year end 23, which is June of 2023. So in comparison for taxes for the year, the district brought in $2,744,781.69. This represented a 20% increase year over year from the previous fiscal year. Also, number 2, we brought in $1,585 in rental income versus $1,000 last year. And then a significant increase here also is the interest earned and reimbursements from UK. That was another $56,000 additionally. Number 4, you can tell by the year that we were up about 21.5% on our revenues coming into the district. Number 5 and 6 just refers to salaries, wages, and fringe benefits. We hit basically the same mark every year, so we've got the same number of employees. Number 7, your professional maintenance and repairs and equipment repair increased by approximately 11,500 and 14,000 year over year respectively. On the next page, number 8. Those of you who have been here will see that the utilities came down significantly. When the bill first opened, we had a lot of HVAC unit issues, so they corrected those. So utilities are down 25% on the year, so the savings about $18,000. Number 9, you see the marketing and special programs. It was up nearly double this year from $37,500 last year to $77,000. That's the increased mailings that are going out. Page number 3, number 10 is your audit. So we did end up in the year with 2 audits. I hope to get the third one in, but we only got 2 in from last year. The third audit has been concluded, and we'll go over that at the end of this meeting, but the bill will actually be on next year. So we'll see that next year. I do expect 2 audits next year as well that will be completely called up. So you'll see it 12.9 again. Number 11, this is just something that's increased over the years. Volunteer management and ADA needs. They've increased significantly, 4,500 and 3,653 respectively. I do expect increases to occur in the future as well. That's something that is around to stay and very much needed. On the next page, number 12, is our capital outlay. We increased our capital outlay on the year by about $50,000, but we also got the brand new Ford F-150 out here, and your voting panels came in for that year. Down at the bottom, number 13, just point out for the year, the district's net revenue is $1,347,202.26, which still represents that 20% increase that we mentioned earlier for the income. View document number 4, this is your budget to actual. You guys are used to looking at this every meeting, and so now we have actual numbers in. So for the year, the tax revenue of $2,744,781.69 represented 26.4% above budget. And I would estimate that that's based on everybody's property values went up last year. I know mine took a try to hit, so I'm sure everybody else did too. So you're representing that. Number 2, this is something we don't budget for, so you don't know how much rental income you're gonna have, but you did come out $1,585 to the good this year. The same with number 3, we never budget for interest earned, we never budget for the UK reimbursement. So that's just extra funds that come in, but you end the year with interest revenue of $88,739.14. And the reimbursement from UK is $82,477.63. So for the year of your number 4, the gross profit for the district is $2,970,583.46. This is a 34% increase year over year, or 34% increase over the budget, I'm sorry. 5 and 6 is your wages and fringe benefits. They come in at 100% as expected. Number 7, contracted services came in under budget by about $48,000 at 80% of the budget amount. On the next page, number 8, your materials and supply came in right at budget at 99.86%. Number 9, I would point out that county travel came in a little lower this year, used about 18.2% of the budget. Professional improvement used approximately 27% of the budget. Number 11, your total administrative costs used approximately 57% of the budget. Number 12, your capital outlay used approximately 92%. Now, getting down to the bottom, I just wanted to point out, starting with number 13, we made all our payments this year to Keiko on time, and we're up to date on that. Number 14, total expenditures came in at approximately 97% of what we budgeted, so that's about $48,000 difference. So we came pretty good on the budget and on expenses. Number 15, and this is just for clarification, the budget called for net income of $555,055. We came in at $1,347,202.26. This represents a $792,147.26% increase over the budget. So I put right a breakdown on the next page that should, if everyone wants to read through it, your access from $792,147.62. Your tax revenue increase represented $573,311.69. Your interest income represented $88,739.14. The UK reimbursement represented $82,477.63. So your total remaining for the year was the $47,618.80, and the savings for expense was $48,000. So it's probably $450 I can't track down expenses between the budget and actual, but the majority of it came in from the income side. Then June document, page 5, is just going to represent the check detail for the month of June. If everyone wants to look over that, this check is written from the extension district during that month.
Can I just say I really appreciate the notes? Like, I appreciate that.
Work out. I'll start doing it from now on. I was hoping it helps some. So,
It most certainly did, definitely,
because it helps me when I'm trying to read it too.
Yeah.
Those lines are really tiny.
for sure.
So that's everything I had for the financial statements. I do have a document for the financial transfers. I didn't know if we needed to vote on the financials first. This is different, separate. I guess
That's for the one that we said.
yeah, the 2.5 million.
Yeah, I'd say this, if it's all right with you all. You'll review it, just report, yeah, ask some questions, and then I'll take a motion on the report with y'all ready for that there. Also, motion made and seconded to approve the May and June presidential report from Mark. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same call. Motion passes.
Go ahead and do the transfer, if you want to move on.
Let's see if there's any more down below.
Don't take it.
Let's go ahead and do that, now, if that's all
Okay, so this was approved at the June 17, 2024 board meeting. What I've done is the chart here represents the beginning balance before I started any transfers. Should be this document here.
Is this the, where we had like several line items being transferred over to account item,
So this was be,
like we noted? I had a lot of numbers to write last time.
could be four paragraph names. We've also got myself and Stan, Boyle.
Yeah.
Amounts that we transferred.
Right. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it did take an extra approximately 3 weeks to get everything transferred, so the amounts that are in here have fluctuated a little bit because we gained interest on those accounts. So the beginning balances will differ approximately $500 to $600 each account on this, so I don't know if we need to reapprove those numbers.
I didn't have specific numbers in here
So I would think,
in the motion previously. So if those numbers have changed, it sounds like we might need to re-motion to accept the new numbers. Okay, so I motioned last time, I make the motion to accept the new numbers accounting for interest. If you'll tell me what they are, I will put them in.
it'll be his first call.
Easy.
I'll know this, make it a little easier to follow. So what that chart's representing is your beginning balances for your Farmers National Bank money market account, your community trust money market account, your Farmers National Bank checking account, and then they total at the bottom. The total represented $4,188,338.76. So the next line item, you'll see transfer out. So we transferred $393,756.06 out of Farmers National Bank money market. $563,280.56 out of community trust money market. $1,542,804.82 out of the Farmers National Bank checking account for a grand total of $2.5 million. The third column represents the transfer in, the $2.5 million all went into the Well South account. So your ending balance represents where we're at today. So the Farmers National Bank money market account has been closed. The community trust money market account has been closed. Farmers National Bank checking account has a balance of $1,688,497.32 in it. The Well South account had $2.5 million. So you will notice between the beginning balance and ending balance, there's a difference of $158.56. What that represents is while the Farmers National Bank money market account is in there for that week, that's the interest we gained. So they took out, I think, $7. Got it back here. They took out $7.93 for their fee, and then we gained $166.49 in interest, which represents that $158.56. So right below it, I gave a little transcript of what I did, the days, the amounts, the receipts from Farmers National Bank, we had a dormant account in the Farmers National money market, so I transferred $1 penny. Just to activate the account, so I get the money out. So these tags right here represent $1 penny coming out of the check and going into the money market. So that was step number one. And then it printed out a little weird at the top up here, you can see the amount that was transferred out of the money market and then interest that was gained that was transferred over as well. It's boxed in for you. Then below it, you will find the check for community trust. The actual check itself that I brought from community trust at the Farmers National Bank to deposit at Well South. So I subscribed $158.56 interest amount on that one, which can be seen on the next transcript here. And so what you see here is our checking account started at 3.2 million and ended with 1.68 million. And then below it, you'll see all 2.5 million went into Well South. So as of today, all transfers have been completed, all funds have been accounted for, and I do have receipts for every transaction made.
Danielle made a motion to revise the numbers as shown on page 1 of the handout.
Sorry.
Any other discussion on the fund transfer document? Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
So the 2.5 million transfer does not, it's still 2.5 million, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I reflected the community trust, farmers, and the money market and the checking.
Yeah.
New numbers in here, so those are the only numbers that change.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, sorry, I want to make sure I got that correct, because that's a lot of numbers.
It's a lot of them. Things around.
And remind me again, the amount that's in the checking account at Farm National Bank, is that FDIC insured?
$250,000.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the typical 250,000, the Wells House fully secured.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one was fully secured, I remember that, I remember one. Was secured.
There's $1 million in money market and FDIC insurance fully money market. And then basically there's 6 $250,000 CDs that are through different banks, so we can use their stand. So everyone with FDIC insured, so that entire 2.5 million should be insured.
Right.
Fully. Checking accounts, where the store it fluctuates so much, it's hard to keep it balanced.
Yeah.
So.
Correct.
I have a correspondence that I need to do. I need to write a certain thing or to.
But, oh, never mind.
Is that public comments, is that what they're doing?
It's just like if somebody said you want, well, quite.
Oh, gotcha, I didn't realize. No, I have never received anything like that, so.
And
Well, it's not good.
And of course, Judge Philly was not able to be here tonight, but it's just given this around 6 o'clock, or maybe it might be on, she is swearing in our new board member, and that is Kim Kernan. Neither of them were able to be here tonight, we both have another meeting that starts at 6, so she is swearing her in there, so our next meeting will be.
Okay. Very good, so I guess they're both at the same meeting then.
They are.
Okay, all right. Good deal. All right,
On that note, can we go ahead and discuss, our updated, positions? Because right now, you and I are the only two holding the position, and we should have 3.
can
And
we,
we've been waiting to hold off on that until that new member was represented.
so do we do that when the member is present?
I think we can do some.
We don't know.
Yeah, you can do it anytime.
I mean, we can wait if that's what we want to do, but I just want to bring it to our attention that it's still not been done, and it needs to have been done. But we also don't have our full board here right now, so it may not be the best decision.
Can we make sure that's on the agenda for the next meetings that we have?
It was on this one at first. So yes, we will put it on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is that all right, every month?
I think that you
Next.
All right, moving on to unfinished business, old business. We've got the fiscal year 23 audit. Is that something that you go over, Mark, or?
Yeah, and,
But before we get into that, this CTV money market account, the sheet here, that's got a question. I've just got it on here, list of all the checks. We've got some checks out there, just unclear check of payment. It's a 5/31/2024. So we go back to 2020.
yeah, they need to clear it out.
So, do they not get cash or?
That's they've either been logged, not cashed, or something along the way, and so until the bookkeeper cancels the check and reissues the new one, they say on there, so I can't void the checks.
Right.
So it's just a matter of whenever they decide to void it off. So theoretically, it'd be done at least every year, but
So is that something Rita takes, sees it gets happening, or sees it?
at this point, where it's a couple years behind, I would think Ryan, you pay that the journal entry, to basically remove that expense and bring it into the new year. So, I think.
Let me reach out to Ron and see.
So in previous years, we could do it, since they moved QuickBooks Online, they got everything password protected, because I can't do any of that stuff.
Right, and we can get that cleaned up.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
And those are called.
Unclear.
Unclear checks and payments.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll table that until we hear back from mine.
I mean, he can go ahead and split her out, he can do it, okay, so for the next meeting. I'm not sure how hard I can do, but.
That's it, because it's so much business online. It's 30 years.
No,
She said the problem.
That's right, this person.
She's missing money from that, apparently, $140. Get that money, girl.
I think I remember when that check was due, it might be in my car.
Oh, jeez. We got to like cancel that.
I don't know, they don't patch them every 3 months, so.
I'll spell it.
You'll say, common sense.
Yeah. They don't really check.
You'll say it does, they kicked my back before, and been like, this is too far out.
if you got, leave it, why,
I'll do it. Which one is it? Where are we at?
I don't know, that's why I hate it.
That is one thing that we're trying to be a little bit more careful about, the last little bit is, investing in the board, but some of those that are really owed. We're gonna, we don't know when they're much.
You're gonna have it all.
This is real looking for.
I'll spend all one place.
Yeah.
You want it, so.
That's the right sheet.
Charlie, you got some money?
Not sure.
It's on the,
I noticed that the brief sitting down. Since I noticed that Stuff like
That was actually fun.
Yeah, it's
Where-
every year.
Yeah. And I remember-
I mean, just one myself last year.
Just builders you done.
Well, thanks for bringing that up.
You know, I'll read first.
Yeah.
I'll jump back into things. Thanks for bringing that up, Gary. Appreciate that. Moving on, so the audit then, is that something you can do, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine. Everybody should have a copy of the audit, and it's bound, those look here. So this is the official year 23 of audit. So this is the official copy. If you want to flip, for what they have, it's page 1 on the bottom. It's about 3 pages in. Where it says opinions towards the, probably the third way down, the second paragraph where I'll read. So basically, Turbo Roads above, there's the entity that performed our audit, they're from here in town. They audited the financial statements year ended June 30, 2023. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects, the respective modified cash basis financial position of the governmental activities, the major fund and the aggregate remaining fund information of the district as of June 30, 2023, and the respective changes in modified cash basis financial position for the year then ended in accordance with the modified cash basis accounting described in note 1. So basically, they gave us $20 on the financials. You can go through, they have all the technicality information, basically it's a form that every auditor uses. So it's pretty generalized as far as that goes. Starting on page 3, you'll see, the statement of net position, that's basically your balance sheet, your financial position that I present each time. Page 4, it's just a breakdown of the beginning and ending net position for the district, the statement of activities. Page 5 is your statement of assets, liabilities, and fund balance. Basically, they just take different ways to look at it to make sure that everything's gonna match. So you go through all the numbers there. Page 7, when it gets into another one that refers to that I just read, basically they go through all of our accounting policies, the budgetary accountings, and everything like that, describe all the terms for everyone. The only other thing that really comes hours per se is on page 12. And this right here is something that they put in all our audits, it's a report on internal controls. For our audit purposes, they do not consider internal controls, because we do not do an internal control audit. So they look at the financials only, and that's what they'll tell you in one. 4 paragraphs, Dan. Says our consideration of internal controls for the limited purpose described in the first paragraph of this section is not designed to identify all deficiencies in internal control that might be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. Given this limitation during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. However, material weaknesses may exist that are not identified. So they did not audit our internal control, but what they did look at came through clean. So everything through fiscal year 23 as a clean bill of health from the auditor. So as soon as this gets wrapped up, we'll begin the June 30th, 2024 audit, which literally just ended, so we have a date, we'll take ours. So it's been a long time coming. So, glad to go.
Mark, fill me in, this is because of COVID, this was all, or why won't these audits done before?
So, our bookkeeper was out for some periods of time, on part of it, there was some miscommunication apparently from the auditor and the bookkeeper here, the auditor has retired and handed off to somebody else. So there's a lot of moving parts along the way,
Okay.
and so communication kind of fell through, and then, once everybody got back on the same page, we kind of ranked them out, it's like, we had 2 come out, now this is the 3rd, and then went 4. So it's been, it shouldn't be that far behind than it was.
And we have, how many audits a year? One?
Should have 1 year. So basically, our year end is June 30th of whatever year we're in, so that fall audit should be in, and by the spring, you pattern. That way you're going off with numbers. All adjustments are made. I got all the adjustments in there. It's a clean bill of health starting the fiscal year.
Okay.
Also, side note, I'd love to just interject right here, some good news that will make everyone very happy. I just signed our, letter of engagement for the next audit for the 2023-24 audit. So
Big two.
we're already getting started on the most recent one possible, so. We're,
And that would be the
beginning
beginning of the result.
possible.
2 last year this year.
Very good, very good. We need to, any action meeting from the board for the audit.
Yeah, if you all could approve it. Receive it, approve the audit, and then I can.
I move to approve the audit as presented. I'll second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion on the audit, any other discussion on the audit?
Good job. I like when I say nothing's wrong.
Me too.
All in favor?
I will get this uploaded into the Department of Government portal and you all will be notified.
Okay. So no, see no discussion, all those in favor of approving the audit as presented, signify by opposed. Passes. Thank you. All right. County director position update.
Okay, so we went round one. We are posted with their closing date next week, August 15th. So if you know of anybody who would be great in the position, please encourage them to apply through the UK Jobs website. We had several things happen in the first round, just beyond our control, and we felt like we needed to go back and repost one more time.
Do we have any applicants?
We did.
Very many.
Good number.
Okay.
Yeah. I was happy. Like I said, there were just things that happened beyond our control with several applicants that we felt were really good, and we feel like we needed to go back and repost.
So. Does it give examples or?
I can't tell you all, I mean, in detail exactly what happened, but, we did have really good candidates, and for various reasons, some candidates withdrew, and it just didn't work out, but we thought we had good candidates.
Have there been others that have spent and this round's open now?
I can't see it until it closes,
And when's that close date?
the next week.
Pretty able to ask people we do not have a qualified successful candidate in this posting of the August 15th, that at that point we suspend a search next spring.
Yeah, we would just need to meet after that date, after it closes, and, you know, if we come back to you and the team says, hey, you know, we don't feel like we got a candidate this time, then you all could meet and discuss it, and if that's what you all choose to do, then you all can do that. You can say, just hold it until X number of times, but since it's already been posted, now, yes, you all have to do that.
That was something that I would.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I think there's lots of good reasons to hire personnel if we can do it. We have, a county director of training all planned for this fall, so if we could get that person, they would be there with their group and be in the trainings, and they wouldn't have to be on board and then wait again for trainings to come up. So there's some really good reasons that we can find a good qualified candidate. But yes, you all can certainly do that.
Well, life happens, unfortunately, applying for jobs, so hopefully this next round of candidates has a little less life happening.
But I do feel really positive about it. I felt good about the first round.
When the presentations that they give are scheduled, is there any way that some of those could be after by?
Yeah, because we all have to pick up work.
I totally did it.
Let's talk about it, and then we got the email, it's like, never mind, I don't want to miss work after.
Let me check. I totally get it. Okay.
Thank you.
Or at least like a Saturday morning. I don't know if we can skip their Saturday up, but.
I'm giving mine up this weekend.
You tell me what it is.
So is there any other action?
Do you all want to go ahead and discuss that and make that into an official motion that,
When's our next meeting after today?
so the first Monday night in September is Labor Day, so it would be like the next Monday in Labor Day, but it's the next
It's gonna
Monday.
be September 10th
September,
or 9th.
oh, September 9th. That's why I wrote
That's
that.
the week of my birthday.
That's awful.
That work night, that's a Saturday.
So we can have this money. If you all would like to be in September.
We have to know this is when you get addresses.
Well, we can do our election,
Officer
I think that's really important, our election. I think that would.
and that'll give Kim a chance to follow as well too. Because she'll be finishing out her term until December.
And we'll know, so you said the position.
Yeah.
Application, oh, it's a good candidate, so you know about the great.
Pretty good, I don't know. I mean, you never know what candidates will do, but yes.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
If I had not applied for, or just been accepted for a job, I would have applied.
You want to vote anybody?
Lincoln County stole me.
Lincoln County.
Lincoln County Schools.
Well, so that's all we need on the position, project position, correct? Okay, so we'll move on then to the staff assistant temporary position update.
Yeah, so this is exciting. We have a new person and that person's start date is August the 12th.
August 12th.
Yes, so everything is ready to go. We were years ago. We've never done it. So I guess to go ahead and announce who it is at this point, since it's done. Some of you all may know her. Her name is Kimberly Hodge. So,
Kimberly Hodge,
Riley. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I'm gonna get it down here, but yes, so her first day will be next week.
And she's a temporary staff assistant, but could potentially be, you know, long-term depending on how we need her.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yep.
Very good.
So yeah, we're excited about that.
if any of the other staff come back and work here.
Yes.
Yeah, she came back, last month.
I thought I saw her, but you.
I hear we got that position filled, so. Moving on to any other unfinished business, on the agenda.
Before we go to position posted,
Yeah, it's posted as well. It will close, I think it's Monday next week also, so hopefully we'll have all this good.
Okay.
So hopefully by the next meeting, we, hopefully might, or something, about we'll see. But
Yeah, chosen or have,
I don't know, at least know if it's, gone or it's a repass for sure.
Well, by the next meeting, will we know whether or not, we need to schedule the, where's Danielle, the committee that we voted on this.
I'll get the screening committee.
Yeah, so like, that September meeting, we'll know if we can.
We'll probably, they will probably have it, maybe even by then,
Okay.
so
good deal.
look at the calendar. Can't remember.
Moving on to new business. We've got a couple things related to facilities. Mr. Barry, is that your department?
That's right.
Does everyone have a facilities items packet?
Yes.
Okay. First thing we have, you'll see there on the packet is, I put out a bid for the snow removal services for the upcoming season. And, we ran that for over 2 weeks in the local paper and on our office Facebook and site. And we have one sealed bid. So this shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay.
And I'll give that to you, Spencer, you can open it up.
Put it in the paper and where?
On our office Facebook page.
All right, looks like this was received July 24th, dated July 19th. And it is by Mr. Doug Coulter. That rate, that description is snow removal, $120.50 per truck per hour. Clearing sidewalks, $32 per man hour. Salt charge of 65 cents per pound. That's all, there's no total, that's just.
Yeah, because it's price per event.
Yeah.
Because we have no way to know, how many events we're gonna have in the delivery.
But he also has a copy of his certificate of liability insurance attached as well.
Very nice shoe.
Okay, thank you.
How does that compare to last year? No.
The salt charge went up a little bit, just rising costs of
Yeah.
materials. Labor is pretty much right about the same as it was last year.
So do we want to act on that now, or do we want to let? I would probably do that to about piece, I would say, because you, this, that all, snow removal.
Yeah, if we could go ahead and make a decision on that, we can move to the next.
Let me ask one more question. Sure. Quality of service line.
It's hit or miss, that's one of the reasons we put it out to bid. Because it's based on performance. I will say, every time that I have said something about an issue, he has responded. But it's usually every time there is something I have to address. But, I mean, when you only get one bid, I don't know what you do.
Well, that's probably not the most lucrative business of being there, snow.
And if, I don't know if you remember back in the spring when we done the mowing bid, we had multiple.
Yes.
Snow removal is much more limited. Not every mowing landscape company does snow removal.
Right.
And that limits you, mowing business out of town will do. Snow removal, it's so hard to get here in bad weather that they're not willing to bid if they live, or have an office out of town, so.
Did the outpost get pretty good reach on social media? I mean,
Yeah, and it was pinned to the, top of our Facebook page and, it's, I really don't know what else, we could have really done to market it much. I mean, snow removal always does get less bids than I was hoping for more than one, but. Yeah,
I'm making a motion to accept it.
motion to accept the bid, or second?
Awesome.
Second. Any other discussion on the single evening? All those in favor of accepting the bid as presented, Colbert, say aye. Opposed?
Do you have the quote?
Yes.
All right, if you don't care, you can sign it. for me.
Okay.
So
Just anywhere.
yeah, just anywhere on there, just, your name, your title, that way. That's what we always do with all of these, that they can proceed with knowing it's been accepted. I'll get that from you. All right, next item on our list is, this is all kind of one project, but it's two different vendors because one vendor handles one aspect of the project, the other vendor handles they don't, neither company does both. And basically what we're looking at, this is kind of finishing out our access control system for the main office building here. When the addition was constructed, this entrance here and this other entrance has access control by car. And the old entrance that faces BCTC does not. It's still a manual handlock. We have a push button lockdown that's in the front office behind the staff assistants, that if there was ever any kind of threat or emergency and we needed to lock the exterior doors of this building, we hit that button, it locks the doors. Well, we don't have that on that third entrance. If somebody manually locks that during the day, and we were to have an incident, we need to lock down quickly. Somebody would have to try and run and make sure to get that door locked. That's one aspect of it. The other is simply from all the after hour meetings and things we have here. Having all of it on this card, I don't have to worry about, folks getting to lock and unlock that door down there, any of that. Basically, this access card, I can turn it off with a click of a button. If somebody loses it or somebody gets it that shouldn't, I can make changes to it, there's a lot of things I can do with that program. So that's why we're looking at trying to add that missing piece of the puzzle to finish it out and have this whole main building controlled with the same existing system. So that's what part of it is. And that would be the other part, while we were at it, because it was cost effective to do so, is address the issue with our staff entrance door. It stays locked 24/7 and is only accessible by staff privileged car. But we run into a lot of problems there, not only with ADA issues, with getting that door open and, folks that are, either on a cane or what have you. The agents and staff will have a lot of stuff in their hands all the time coming in and out of that staff area. And it's very hard to try and get that, open the door and do all that. So what we're looking at is while we, have the team here, it's much more cost effective while they're already here to do that aspect of it. All that door needs is the quote we received from the Schilder to add the ADA handicap operator. As far as any work from Siemens, it would simply be the programming of the existing access control to work with that operator. The majority of the cost is going into the old entrance because that door has nothing. It's running wire, it's running hardware to that door to make it function like these do, and to program it and integrate. The grand total of everything, as you'll see there at the bottom, is $24,874.94. And when I met with Rita and Alethea earlier this year, and we done the budget planning for this upcoming year, this was in that budget planning for the maintenance and repairs budget. was these items, you know, these major items to try and finish out the building.
And that was the 50,000, correct?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so just as an example, last year you spent $33,861. So if you add on 2480, you're talking about the 58,736, and we are allowed 60,000. You still come in about 1,300 short of the budget.
thank you. Any discussion on this, proposal?
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if you guys ever have lugged big kids and stuff in here, but I have, and it ain't fun. So if we could have something there, that would be helpful, and then, as far as getting access to all three doors, like in the same system, that makes the most sense. My question is, okay, so like technology's been doing weird for some things lately. Like, you know, the Wi-Fi was down, we have to work the other day, like, our key cards, like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, the system here is strictly on site. Obviously, you know, we have the capability, I do, and certain individuals to remote into it. But even if the internet went down here, even if the power went out here, obviously you couldn't log in and make changes to it. But it would operate how it last new house.
okay,
So whatever the program before that incident, it would still function.
Okay.
And they also have fail safes. Basically, it's not power keeping them unlocked. Power drops to those doors to lock them. So if the power goes out, the door will lock. The building will never sit here unlocked if they're, you know, power.
And there's still keys to access, like manual keys to access in that event, but
Yes, you know, certain staff do have a key that can still get in that door if, you know, and that is also on a battery backup, the access card for so long. Obviously, if we were days into it, I don't know how long the battery lasts, but, you know, short term, we've never had an issue.
okay. I mean, you gotta talk about these things these days, technology.
Absolutely.
I couldn't get in the hotel on, leap year day on February 29th, and Hilton, apparently all Hiltons across the world have no access because leap day.
What a day.
Yeah.
Bad for them.
Yeah. I entertain a motion if the board so moves, or if there's any other discussion open on that too.
I make a motion to accept as presented or 24,874.94. Please.
And that would be for both vendors, both quotes, we're listed there.
Motion by Danielle, your second,
I'll second.
second by Kinsey. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of accepting the motion, to install these two things into the facility here, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
And again,
Thank you, Rick.
signatures.
Oh,
Great. I'll show you here on the.
oh, there's a place.
Yeah.
There it is.
That one is a page that has
Well, while I'm typing this, I'm almost done. I think the next item of business. Do we need to do anything on that year-end accident policy option?
Yeah, so, I didn't make copies of this for you all because it's really not a big deal, but I did want y'all to be aware of it. We already talk about the budget versus actuals for the last fiscal year. So, one of the things that we do is we do a year-end actuals, which is basically summarizes all of the budget versus actuals for the year. So we have that completed, and I won't review again that budget versus actuals, but we did want to let you know about that. If you would like to, at least document in the minutes that you did talk about or presented with it, and that you authorize the treasurer to sign off on it. And then the other thing that we do every year is the offset voucher. It's just something that, it's a little report that we do, it's not a big deal, it just kind of talks about, not pronounce, I'm gonna have to reprint this, Mark.
Okay.
I need this one to not pronounce correctly, but it just basically summarizes your capital outlay, your operating expenditures, and your travel and professional improvement. It breaks those three out, and it's just a report that is required that we have to sign off on, and this one requires Alethea's signature as physical contact, the treasurer, and myself. So it's just more or less another report. Once we get these, then I will go into the DLG website again, and I will upload and put your year-end actuals, and then everything will be done for this year. We won't have to do anything in that website until January. So just wanted you to know about those. I do have copies if anybody would like to look. But basically, the year-end actually just summarizes everything from the budget versus actuals on here. So,
Do I need to have that reflected in any certain way in the notes?
no, not necessarily, just, I want you guys to be aware of it and Mark will sign off. So we'll have this done.
What was the second document called?
It's called an offset, OFSET voucher, county offset voucher. Just a couple of reports that are required, for the university, and the also, the, year-end actuals go into the DOJ website.
So there's no board action needed on that. All right. Thank you, Rita. All right, moving in to the next item of new business. 2024 tax rates.
So, just if you wanted to, the next two items on here, the audit engagement, that's to do the audit for the fiscal year 24 that just ended. We just need a motion to proceed with Herbal Rose and Butler, thank you, I was forgetting. We just need a motion and approval to proceed with them to start that. And then the interns, in your budget, you already have, I'm just making sure. This is a formality, it's just something we have to do, I already being the interns again.
I thought there was some interns. Factored in the budget.
I think so, not in this one.
Wrote some last year, 6,600 of them.
Yeah, I don't see it in this one. So you're all good.
We're gonna be doing it there. So do you?
Do you see
you want
And to the audience,
No.
you need a motion.
For the engagement to actually start that.
To engage, for fiscal year 24.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the motion.
Okay, check. Made and seconded, so we're skipping down, so everybody's following along. We're gonna do the taxes last. We're skipping down to the fiscal year 24 audit engagement. There's been a motion made and seconded to authorize that audit to begin.
Can you name the people again, Kerbal, blah, blah, blah?
Kerbal Road.
Or you, yeah, I'm not.
I think it's on your audit.
Yeah, right there.
There you go.
Is there any discussion on approving that motion?
So I said a motion needs to be made to renew Kerbal Roads and Butler in order to approve, to begin the next audit. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and hopefully we can go ahead and start that audit now, so that we'll have it, like, be ready.
All right, we'll see, no other discussion, if there is no other discussion, then all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye. Opposed? Passes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who motioned and who seconded?
Motion by Barry, second by Henry.
Thank you, sir. I know it's my meeting.
All right, so you guys ready to talk taxes.
Who's taking over notes for me, because I gotta go. Hang on. 1 second, anybody want to type? Yay.
Want to type? Is that your first one?
Each, but I can send you the, Google Doc as it is being transcribed.
Okay,
I can send it to you right now
okay.
with everything else. You want it?
Okay, so
You debate.
I really don't want to do it on my phone.
I mean, somebody's also going to keep my personal laptop if they liked, but, file.
You guys ready to jump? So I want to just review because we do have a couple of new folks on the board. And maybe this is the first time that we're actually doing tax rates. We use the PowerPoint just for a little bit. When tonight, when we're setting our tax rates, we're basically gonna be setting 3 basic types of taxes. We're gonna be setting our real property, which are things like land and building and other improvements of a personal nature. Most of us are familiar with that. We're also gonna talk about tangible personal. And that is like fiscal items that are subject to ownership, comprised of property that can be moved or touched, and commonly includes items such as like furniture and business equipment. Then we're also going to set our motor vehicle watercraft, tax rate, and of course that one's pretty self-explanatory. So in our minutes, since the lead is now doing minutes, we all get ready to set your tax rates. Our minutes must reflect like real property, what the tax rate is, personal property, what that rate is, the motor vehicle. And we'll go through all of this. The other thing I want you guys to kind of know about and think about, 3 different kinds of optional tax types that are available out there. That's aircraft, that is aircraft owned by individuals for personal use, documented watercraft, and also in-transit inventory. And our minutes tonight will have to reflect if you do or do not want to pay each of those types of optional taxes. So those are the types of taxes that we are going to be looking at setting rate for and or taking tonight. So you all as district board members have the privilege, the responsibility of setting the tax rate. When it comes to that, you can take a compensating rate, you can take an above compensating rate, and then you can also levy a rate that's greater than 50%, or this one doesn't apply to you guys because you already have a tax rate. Thanks, Danielle.
Sorry.
Fine. So we want to talk about this just a little bit. The direction that you take tonight, whether the tax rate determines the proper procedure that we have to follow. So on your handout that you have tonight, you have the compensating rates listed on the top and the top block. Now, if you decide tonight that you want to proceed with the compensating rate, I'm the messenger to resolve the final decision. That's totally up to you all as board members. The agents and I have no in this part of it. The compensating rate is defined as that rate when applied to the current year's assessment of real property, excluding any new property, will produce an amount of revenue that's approximately equal to what was produced last year. Okay, it's kind of keeping it balanced, keeping it about the same. So as we look at this and you think about it, if the real property assessments go up, then to stay balanced, your rate would roll back a little bit to keep that revenue generated from the existing property assessments about the same. So if you were to decide that you want to take the compensating rate tonight, then you can automatically adopt that by the taxing district, and there's nothing else that you have to do besides present that and get it approved by this court. So that is certainly one option that you all have tonight. If you want to go with the next column, the compensating plus 4% rate, you can certainly do that. It basically generate 4% over the amount of revenue produced by the compensating tax rate. In other words, it's going to give you 4% greater than what you got last year. Now, if you were to decide to do a compensating plus 4 rate, it does require a public hearing, and it is subject to recall. There is a process of that. We're not going to bore you with that tonight. but you have to advertise that for 2 weeks in the paper. You have to have a hearing that's open to the public, and at the end, it is subject to recall with that. And all of that has to occur within your 45-day window. So from the time we got the heads up that our assessments were, in, our 45-day window started clicking away. So those are kind of your options. Compensating rate, basically, present a copy of the tax rates to the fiscal court. Fiscal court typically likes for us to have someone representing the district board, go and present those tax rates. I will also be present that day. And then we just complete the documentation. About compensating rate, there's what we kind of have to do with that. Again, we have to do all this within 25 days of certification, if we all do that. There is, you basically do use the compensating rate if you fail to do this within your 45-day window. But we don't do that. So questions that you guys have about that, and then we're gonna hop into this. And I know y'all probably want some discussion, and that is perfect.
What's the start date for 45 days?
Your 45-day window started with what I'll give you the impact here. Each counties, your all stay started with it. Get my hands up. Any problems? I have too many little sheets to support. Your 45-day window started with it.
I am not.
Well, I'll tell you in a second. If I don't, I'll go grab it off.
That's okay. Well,
Yeah, yours, yeah.
You have a copy of our current rates, the
Yes.
presentation for
So I
some.
do.
We will probably use them that.
It's not, should be your main whole three blocks.
Time and what we.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably find last year in 2022, it was 8.3, 2021, it was 7.4.
We have it, she's off. Okay, so what do you guys want to start with this? So your current rates are not 21.27, and of course, motor vehicle never changes. So that part never changes.
4.3, is that right?
Your current rate,
Yeah, 1.3.
right, so what we can do is, well, there's any number of things that we can run.
Really?
So,
Do we have to have approved fiscal court?
so as you all learned last year, fiscal court, the first time we took our tax rates to fiscal court, they did not approve. And they sent those back to us and required that the board meet again and consider changing those rates. They can, at the end of the day, it's your decision.
Also, the
We
compensating rate, we're actually entitled to that for KRS, the compensating rate, which Rita had talked about.
Which you all can have. And as you all know, last year we went back to fiscal court the second time and said, hey, we're not going to move from our decision. And at the end of the day, if fiscal court didn't approve the rate, it goes to compensate. So, but you all have some
So
options.
what would they approve?
Is compensating rate. They did not approve. Okay.
Oh, they did last year?
Um,
What did they pay to the board to the fiscal board?
We
Compensate.
compensating,
Yeah.
but there was a different type of rate that they were talking about, that when we met the first time, we were told it was just the regular compensating, we met the second time, we were told it was the regular compensating, and then we found out after that it was slightly different.
And I'm very happy to walk you guys through the worksheets that we did from the Department of Local Government, because I think we all learned last year. So you all have been taking a substitute rate for many years. And you're totally allowed to do that, it's totally legal. But when the Department of Local Government does all of our calculations, we don't do those at the university. They give them to, our EBO team, they review them, they send them to Extension, they review them, and then they send them to me, and then we're here tonight. But I can show you all, if you all see what the president, I don't know how complicated you all want to get. But these rates, and I'll share this with you, these rates here, the compensating rates, totally fine to take those. Those are substitute rates. Okay, so right, and that's what we're gonna do with the last year. So let me open it up and I will share with you. Okay, I know that's kind of little. So this is.
There's, down at the bottom, they put- that's my address, so that's- Or, yeah, actual. I need an actual.
Can you see that speaking period?
You go.
Yeah, a little more. But it's up to 100%. Visual. Let it better.
Okay, we're getting
There we go.
Okay. So there's any number, let me go to the very beginning of this file. I don't want to confuse you guys. I remember you. I don't understand this one, so we're going to pass it. So this is your real, this is actually from the SPG. This is your tax rate calculations for and here are your difference. So we talked about this last year. One rounds up, one rounds down. Okay, so that's why you'll notice on your compensating rate this time, and this again is your real property, is 8.6. Okay, now this is the real calculation. Like if fiscal court was really looking at this, they would say, okay, this is your real tax rate. This is not the substitute rate. This is your real rate. So 8.6, which will round up to 9. Okay, so that's technically like your real rate. If you look on down, here is your substitute rate. Would be that 10 that we saw earlier. Okay, and then this one, of course, rounds down. So this is how we arrived at that 10 for up there. This is 10.1, 10.4, which rounds down. Okay, so that's how they arrived at 10 for that substitute rate.
But that's for this year, correct?
Yeah.
So why is there the tax base assumed to be less in 2024 than it was in 2023?
Yeah, so actually, if you look at your real property numbers, your assessment, none of them make copies of this, but in our current budget, real property assessment is 2,233,000,000. These numbers were doing 446,381. And you'll notice those assessments, the real property went up a little bit. Okay,
I
so,
thought the real property went up because last year we were 9.0. This year at 8.6, and we're bringing the same dollars we brought in this year.
yes,
Yeah,
if you wanted to,
if you don't-
you could.
I thought you had 2023 up there, a little bit higher up. So
This is the compensated rate for 24. Oh, you're talking right here. So this was your rates last year, 9 and 21, 27.
well, my question is, total property subject to rate A is 2.5 billion. And on this sheet that you handed out, real property is valued at 2.3 billion.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's including real property, personal property, together, the total property. If
maybe,
you want to do it, about 300 million, about 2.56 billion.
maybe you have to do like column one FH, if they calculate all of this. But again, like this one is column one, G, I, J. So those numbers, but this number right here, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But I guess the point is, if you're worried about substitute rate is higher. Totally allowed to do the compensating. Is fiscal court going to visualize substitute rate? Absolutely, when we show up on the 13th, absolutely going to. So we just need to be prepared for that, whoever's gonna go with me. 0.8 or 0.086, 8.6 is the true rate, which you could round up to 9. Or you could say, that's fine, we'll say 10. So
Well,
Just-
that had to be rounded up, I mean, it'd be 8.6.
it can be.
And why is this presented as a compensating rate if it's the substitute rate? Because that was the confusion from last year.
That was gonna be my question, because I'm looking at this and looking at what happened last year, who was there, and I'm looking at it and seeing that, it says nothing about the substitute thing, like there's never ever any mention of it.
So,
Honestly, Lee, I never heard of the substitute rate until last year. I didn't know it existed.
Good God, was it set up for?
so what's on this paper, substitute rate?
Yes.
So,
But
we-
it's-
It is.
That's-
But you're totally allowed to do that if you want.
And,
I
and
guess, yeah.
this substitute rate is the one that it defaults to. If
Oh,
the,
guilty.
if the school board rejects it, it still is this substitute compensating
Yes.
rate.
Yes. If something happens and the school board was not to approve it or ran out of days, it would go to the compensating rate that's on this spreadsheet.
The substitute compensating.
The 10 for meal and 2103 for personal. So I guess if you really want to get into it, you can do 8.6, you can do 9, or you can do 10 for real property.
And that is up to you.
Yeah, it's how
You can pick out numbers, and we can write them in, and then that's what whoever goes to this board to present that can present.
the same thing, there's also a worksheet on here, so this is an annually entered tax rate, which I probably don't understand that one at all. I don't even figure that out. Here's your substitute tax rate, I mean, there is a worksheet on it from the DLG. And then substitute, right here's the tax, so sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay, substitute tax rate. And guys, I think it was created, don't hold me to it, I think it was created almost as a loophole type thing back years ago, and counties are allowed to do this. But if you look down here, here's your 2103. So that is where that comes from at the top. And then if you look back, somewhere else we can find the other one. Here it is, the 10 right here. 0.1000. So the other thing we can do, having looked over these calculation sheets. This one is the compensating tax rate. That 1808 is pretty much your compensating real rate, not the sub rate. When you all wanted to go that route, I'm just sharing.
So,
If you-
is it,
Give you an example, if you went from 8.6, let's say you decide you didn't want the 10, you want to go to 8.6, you want to go to 9. Difference between 8.6 and 9 is about $300,000. Okay, with that 4/10 of the things, what you'd be gaining or losing, okay, from 8.6 to 9.
And-
So your real compensating rate, calculated rate, not substituted, is 18.08.
and that's a personal property, right?
But you can take the compensating substitute rate, which is the 21.08.
So I have a question,
Yes.
and I apologize, I swear I'm trying to understand.
I do too.
So who gets this full report and why are we then given just the 10? Like,
Well, I mean,
the other numbers?
I can send this out to you guys in an email.
But who makes this sheet? Like, who decides that the 10, what are
Oh, that's
compensating?
departments.
So they choose that the substitute rate is our compensating.
Yes,
So the only thing they're looking at is like where you're at today, they're trying to keep you there.
Okay,
So more or less, if you had $1 today, then it's the same dollar tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because technically the dollar will go down in value.
so if we don't choose the substitute compensating rate this year, does that mean they will stop giving us the
No.
substitute compensating?
they'll give you the compensating rate next year to keep or thereabouts.
The substitute one or the real compensating?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question.
We don't
Is there actually a difference between the substitute and the compensating?
Yes.
For real properties,
Yeah.
4%.
Yeah.
So here's what we do. Well, and I just wanted to- but I wanted to also be-
So, good, bad.
So let me just make it very plain, very clear and plain and upfront. You all can take these rates right here. Motor watercraft, motor vehicle watercraft can see never changes. We cannot change that one. It's set. It's always gonna be 1.3000. These two we can change. You all can take this compensating rate and it's totally fine. All right, and this is how much it's gonna generate projected revenue, which we know always ends up being more because we're using last year's assessment. Okay? And so we're looking at $2.9 million expected revenue from that. Compensating plus 4, what are your thoughts? Compensating plus 4 on the table, off the table.
But to me,
They actually,
So I'm not gonna go with that.
okay. Based on phone call, that. Judge, and a couple of extras from that last night. Well, over these numbers. Not to make the fact we carried over about $800,000. The 8.6 real property will give us the same dollars of income based on a higher property assessment. And 18.08 personal property will give us the same amount of dollars that came in last year at 21.1. Motor vehicle stays at 1.3.
So
The
they,
magistrates were happy to go along with that, giving us the same dollars, not greater, that we had this year. That will be my proposal to the group, if anyone would accept it.
so I'm gonna put those numbers in that we can talk about. If we went with this, we're looking at 2.9. If you're looking at 8.6, 18.08, and 1.3, you're looking at 2.5. So about 400,000. And one of the things that fiscal court talked about last year is there's a really wide gap between the real and personal property numbers. I don't know how that got there over the years, but it has. And I know that they last year talked about they were very much like those closer together. But at the end of the day, so there's what the numbers would look like if we put like you're suggesting there.
what would we call this rate, since the higher one is called the compensating rate, what is this rate called?
This will be.
True thoughts.
The real, is it called the real compensating rate or the terms on
It would
it?
be listed as another rate,
Oh.
and you can totally do that, like we have some counties that will keep the current rate that they have. Some counties will choose their own rate, it's totally your choice where you want those rates to be. And I don't have a say either way in that, I will support the other.
So you and the magistrates at your meeting said what rates?
The real compensating.
18.08.
Now, you guys can round that 8.6 up to 9 if you like, we'll see what happens, I think it's about 300,000.
Rita, I'm gonna ask a question. Mark. I think it's real simple, so the simple-minded people like me to know.
I know, that's why I don't.
Okay. Well, we've got an expenditure for next year.
Okay.
We can survive with that number right there and still have some money left over.
Budgeted income was 2.558, so you're at.
Hold on, you hit enter on there, please. Just read it.
So the budget amount was 2.558 million, so you'll be losing approximately $47,000 compared to what we budgeted. And so,
And with that budgeted amount, was that extra also, was that fully being utilized, or was there extra going somewhere else?
we already put $1 million over to the other account, so I'm gonna back it out real quick. You can just say, not that good on.
So if you were to round that up to 9, we would have enough to cover expenses.
But we didn't budget all of those other things that put us over this year, that we talked about at the beginning of the meeting, right? Those never go in the budget, the interest and the reimbursement from
Yeah,
UK, so we will have
So,
some from interest that may make up that difference as well.
by my guess, at this time, you have just over 700,000. Pretty good.
And all needs of extension will be met.
Yeah, so what it is right now, what's throwing you off, they're showing $1 million principal payment in this fiscal year, we made last, that's already gone. So $1 million that had back, so you get you about 700,000 to good.
So with that tax rate there,
You've got that.
we'd be 700,000 to the good.
Based on the budget amount. This past year, you put about 1.3 million.
We don't need to be raising taxes.
So I pointed out, I think for our debt liability is, gonna take care of for 2029, so we're good on that aspect. So there's no reason to be putting money back in the debt. If there's improvements or something, then that's fine, the debt itself will take care of it.
Very sorry, lives some can
And you have budget improvements every year, so it's in the budget. About, capital outlays $135,000, so include anything to the vehicles, anything to the land, the building, furniture, fixtures, equipment.
You know, and I'm looking at this as a taxpayer and taxpayers out there, you know.
Yeah.
Everything else is gonna, you know, this looks like possibility of being increasing in cost and, you know, as long as we are taking our fiscal responsibility, I think then let's lay low and we need to raise them the next year. We'll invite Danny back, go back and make them low, but I think we'll be fine. And, you know, and we're not doing this to, I don't think we as a committee would be doing this to appease the physical court.
No,
Don't get
it's
me wrong, we want to work with them as much as we can.
but it is your all's decision at the end of the
I
day.
mean, this is for the whole total veteran board, yeah.
I think we all pay the same taxes.
No, no. And because if we ever got in a pinch and needed to come to the community, we can always say, look, we lowered taxes then when we thought it was physically responsible. And I don't, Marvin, glad you come here with me. That was the best suggestion we ever had made because I still, don't understand all the finances part of it. I don't think I really need to, but you know, I'll sit on this as a committee, I want to ask the right questions so we can take care of everything financially.
I'll be honest, I learned the tax rates that you guys do, so I'm learning as you go, so that's.
I think you learn every year.
Thanks,
I think
So we basically, we could set the tax rate at whatever we wanted to. I mean, we could say, okay, we will drop taxes, you know, because we don't need money, but we gotta be responsible for that. And tell me, when will we get this building paid for?
We can't pay it off before 2029, we're locked in 10 years with bonds, but in December 2029, we'll have it paid off.
See that, that's what I'm trying to explain to people. And right now, we have the money to pay it off?
We have, we're about 800,000 to 900,000 short, but we have 4 years making it. So you're gonna get there. It ain't gonna be a problem. Plus, the investment account that you just made, is gonna be making like $100,000 in interest. So that's part of the payment too. So,
And that budget that you mentioned originally, that included hiring a county director, correct?
yeah, should add in.
So if we don't do that, then
And like somebody said, that also does not budget for interest or UK reimbursement, which last year come in about $170,000.
Mhm.
So,
Which we never really know how that is gonna go, or what is the rest of our money, or get money back. We have had a vacancy a little bit, so we'll get part of that.
yeah, if interest ever drops, obviously the interest gain will drop some outside of the one they're invested.
So I will share with you guys the difference between those numbers and the ones that are here. It's about. The difference.
Make the motion.
well. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Good job.
Do you want to make a motion then? Okay. Because if you did, I would. How many of us have had it before? I'm not gonna leave you hanging there.
I'll just add for the record, I think the 8.6 sounds good. It gets us our budget back. I feel like it, well, I'll speak personally, if I had understood that what the numbers that we were presented for the compensating rate last year were the substitute rate, I would have made a different decision on what we presented to fiscal court, but we didn't understand last year. This year, we looked at the entire report and saw the real and substitute, and I think taking the 8.6 that gives us the budget that we need for next year is what we should do.
Is that the form of the motion?
It is just to say on the record, so I don't support. Yeah, I don't want to take the motion away. But
Eddie just do like.
yeah, you did the work, but I just want to say for the record,
And if I can say as a chair, I agree. This is good. Financially sound use of our communities. We did the rate change. That's right.
yeah.
Well, now you can go tell everybody that we didn't raise taxes.
We have to.
Well, y'all have to officially voted on it again.
Okay.
Or having a vote, because I missed it.
So would you like to make that form of motion? Would you like?
I'm already.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the tax rate of 8.6 on real property, 18.08 on personal property, and the here normal 1.3 on motor vehicles.
Perfect. Now,
There was the stuff about the optional taxes. Do we need to say officially if we're doing that or not? Maybe not doing
you can put that, I would put it in front.
any different.
Okay.
So, Mr. Lay, I hear your motion. Is there a second?
I'd like to make it a second resolution.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on the tax rates of 8.6, 18.08, and 1.3% respectively? Seeing none, we'll move on to a vote. Do we need to do by acclamation? Is that okay for this? Okay, all right, so, motion's been made and seconded, no other discussion. All those in favor of approving the rates as stated, say aye. Opposed? Like sign. Motion passes.
So now you all have to decide about the optional taxes. You do read it in the I'm to tag. I've listed those on your agenda.
Yeah, not that, but that would be a relative.
What did we do last year?
Let me just make sure, but I don't think you all have to take it. I'm pretty sure you have not.
That's what you got.
So they are optional.
Well, they that would be a big thing. Long change over there. Votes.
Non-consecutive registration.
Yeah, so that'd be out of state.
Yeah, and Josh. I'm pretty sure you all have not taken these.
I don't think we ever had.
I don't think you're gonna be here with this environment. Boyle, okay. So, no, you all haven't. You will not take this.
And on that discussion, I should be in favor, somebody else is supposed to. Hey, you need.
You want someone else to mention? Okay. You want to?
Again, I'm making a motion that we not take the optional taxes.
Okay, for aircraft, for, yes, watercraft and in-transit inventory.
Yes.
And I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Weldon, seconded by Ms. Kinsey.
Aircraft, what is it?
It's all about
Aircraft,
these optional.
watercraft, in-transit. Any discussion on that motion as stated? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of accepting the motion to not assess optional taxes, say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Yeah. Good discussion.
Thank you for the additional information last year. That is really helpful.
I didn't understand that we were using substitute rates last year when we had this discussion. I mean, like I said, I've been doing substitute for years and did not know. It's totally legal. So the next big question is fiscal court meets on the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of each month. So August the 13th, next Tuesday, would be the fiscal court meeting day. I am more than happy to go, but I would like a district board member to attend also. And that way, if they have questions about your plans for that much money, I would like for you all to be able to answer that. I'll answer the tax rates questions and that part of it.
What time is that meeting?
Starting.
Need to be here probably about 15 to.
How long will that meeting last?
Depends on where we are on the agenda.
Right.
We don't know.
I'll have a conflict that day, you'll have to be in Elizabethtown at 10 o'clock.
I mean, it won't be done.
Okay.
You won't make it.
You ready for the final swan there, Daniel? I mean, you are involved, right? We didn't have better friends with the magistrate who hate us, so. Hard now. I would never go up there and support you at the fiscal court meeting, because you did not support me.
I'm just like one time a week.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it or not. If I can, maybe I can come and support. I mean, I can stand up there with you if you need to, but I'm not sure if I can make it or not. I'll have to ask for it.
Anybody who wants to just come and be there for support, it's always nice to see friendly faces and then.
Like, the next week, I'm not sure yet.
But thank you, Danny. I'll be here about 15, yeah.
I will be happy to come. I've got staff meeting that day. And I guess we can't wait until the last.
That's not. I have, comments on this week, I've got it written down, but we don't need to fight, just in case something. Do we have to come back?
Do we have to request to be on their agenda, or do you do that? Do we need to send them a letter? Okay.
I'll send our sheets and stuff, get on the agenda.
Thank you all. Appreciate the discussion, appreciate the willingness to join the meeting.
If everything goes well, you won't hear from us. If things go badly, we'll hear from you. That will be back together. But. We'll be fine. Thank you all for that discussion. That was a lot. I just felt like after last year, we needed to understand it as well as we can. And know what we're looking at. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. I want you guys to always know that. You know, this is your choice.
Appreciate it, on everybody's part. I think good after the discussion is good with us.
So there will be paperwork to fill out and sign in the meeting.
Any other topic of discussion related to tax rates? Okay. I think we've covered the engagement, audit engagement. If I understand correctly, there is no interim conversations that need to be had today. Are there any public comments that were submitted? Okay. I haven't seen any either. I will just say as a, if I may, as chair that has 2 children in the range, that I think for the 4-H members, I've got to pass it along, but my kids had a wonderful time at 4-H camp. So I appreciate that. If that could be echoed, I try to address it, let everybody know on pickup day and drop off day. I just want to share that public. My kids had a wonderful time and are already talking about, they'll get all the buddies back again from the same cabinet. So thank you for that.
Camp was really, really good this year. Had several of our counties had record attendance, and it's just a wonderful experience for the kids. It's a hard week, but it's a wonderful experience.
All the work that's been done was very much enjoyed. Thank you.
If I can shout out, the library did a partnership program that was so good. We all, it went really well. We got great feedback. I know we all signed up some people for fishing licenses, and it's been to go over really well. And shared the video, of what we all did, with all staff and, and that was really cool. Well, most of us, some of us, but that's okay. And the part where they were getting the fish, she was not including the fish, some library staff, myself included, were like, maybe I won't do that, but I would love that we're teaching. And we're gonna get together to do that. So it went really well. It was a 3-part series for 3 different weeks this summer, and well, you all are doing good work this summer.
There's so many great programs here at the office. We have great agents, great staff, and you are really making a true difference in your community. So it's, I think it's been really good.
Any other announcements for the good of the organization?
Oh, do you all want to meet on September 9th?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's the first non-holiday month, correct?
I will be driving back into the state from a vacation that day, but I'll probably be here. I just gotta be able to.
We can always send you on the same.
Yeah, if something happens and Atlanta traffic gets in the way, then I'll see. But I should be working.
Well, if there's no other
Items, the motion to adjourn.
All right, motion made and second.
I'll second.
All right, second, all in favor of adjourning?
Hey.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for making me aware.
He turned the speaker off.
Sure.
Yeah.